lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day.
Hi, welcome to Diary of a Tentwife. We haven't done an update for a while because we have been in different countries.
Yes, she left me.
So this
She went
is
to England.
an update of
I went to the drought-ridden South Africa.
this is week, I think 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
Pick one.
19.
Pick one.
No, like it's
21?
spanning all of them. Oh, and we also have snacks for this because it might be a bit long. So I've cut up some apple. This is called brownie batter, and it's locally made in Zambia. Food for thought. We get a lot of hummus from them and dips. And this is the first sweet one I've seen. So it's chickpeas, cocoa powder, honey, vanilla, salt.
Honey. Honey.
Honey. So I've got
Honey. Honey.
I've got some apple slices to dip in. Okay. So what do you think?
I think this is Lisa's way to try to get me to go vegan.
I'm not even vegan, by the way.
Not happening.
Do you not like it?
Oei,
It's sweet.
sweet! It's like this, we could put sugar in there. Oh, honey.
But there's honey in there. Right. Sorry, we're wasting everyone's time now. So, as Theo said, I went back to the UK for Christmas. Theo went to South Africa. He hadn't seen his parents for a year and a half because he had an issue with his passport, which ended up going to Singapore. So it took him a long time to get it back.
That still doesn't help.
And obviously, with our kind of change, I wanted to go to the UK just to sort out kind of doctors and midwives and stuff there, rather than going back just before having the baby and not really like knowing what's going on. So before I left, I wasn't really eating much at all, was I? I didn't want any. I pretty much ate apples and
I feel sicky.
felt sick all the time.
sicky.
And would have lots of Heinz baked beans, which I said
Heinz baked beans.
I don't know what I said. Heinz baked beans, because we hadn't had them for months in Zambia, and then I saw them and I got loads of them. They're really expensive. They were like over a $5 for a can, which is ridiculous if you buy them in the UK.
I couldn't breathe for a week in this tent.
It's so lying. I was just having potatoes and salt and baked beans, and that was pretty much it. And I think it was feeling ill and the heat. It was so hot before we left. But when I got home, I was actually loving being in the cold. Theo was very jealous. I really liked having big warm jumpers and snuggling in blankets and having lots of hot, warm, nice food. So my appetite came back with vengeance. And I ate loads. I think my mum was feeding me up. So I finally started putting on weight because I'd actually lost weight in the first trimester. Meanwhile, Theo
Also gaining weight.
also sympathy weight apparently. I saw some doctors and I set up like midwife and set up all the things that I had to do to then have the baby in the UK. That they wanted to do kind of scans and checks and tests and stuff from scratch. Not to say that they don't kind of trust other countries'
They don't
medical.
trust other countries.
No, that's not true.
That's
It's
true.
just that they obviously want everything in their way done from scratch, so they can kind of have a baseline of what they measure. And I guess there obviously is similarities of what they test for and measure, but it might be the forms or the records that are slightly different. So I had to have another scan. We were gonna wait, or I was gonna wait till Theo was there to find out the sex of the baby, but we decided because
Come on, get a move on.
I was at home and my sister gave me a lot of her old clothes from my niece and my nephew, we decided that it would be easier to know kind of what sex it was, because At newborn stage, everything seems to be quite neutral, and it's quite easy to find like grey or what, you know, like neutral, beige, whatever colours that are quite cute. But I find when they get a bit older, it seems to be harder. It's like more of a divide. And because I was looking to buy stuff that would be for 6 months plus for when we're back in Zambia, like I wanted to take it already, knowing that we wouldn't have that much space when we're all kind of travelling back. We decided it was easier if we did know before. The baby was in a really weird position, and you couldn't really see anything, so the midwife made me go to the loo and jump up and down in the loo, and then I came back and it still hadn't moved, so she made me kind of like raise up on the bed thing and like shake, and then finally the baby went around the right way, and they scanned, and I said something like, oh, before it had moved, I said something like, oh, it's because Theo's not here, I'm not going to be able to see it. And so she asked me a couple of times, like, do you really want to know? I said, yes, I do. And then she said it was a girl. And the funny thing is that everyone we've spoken to in Zambia before, Theo's so vocal about girls being more trouble than boys. If it's a girl, he's going to send it back. He's not going to be able to see any boys ever. He doesn't want a girl. Like, he's been, from day one, he's been telling that to people, and everyone has said, because you said that, you're going to be punished and you're going to have a girl. So as soon as we got out, I rang him and hit you and like, woo! And like just laughing and laughing. And then I think when you thought about it a little bit more, then you were happy and just pleased that kind of everything was okay. But yeah, punished. I thought I didn't really mind before, but I was really happy it's a girl. At the appointment as well, I had to have another blood test thing for chromosome diseases. And I didn't really think anything of it because I'd already had a test done in Zambia that was then sent to South Africa, and it had come back really quickly actually. So I didn't really think about it, and they said, because I'm flying back to Zambia, they said if everything's okay they'll send a letter, my mum can tell me, but if it's not then they'll call my mum's phone number. So I kind of forgot completely about it, and then the Friday evening, or like really late afternoon actually, I was flying out on the Monday and this was the Friday. My mum kind of got a phone call from an unknown number, and they kind of said, it's not great news, came up as a high probability, and that I really should think about getting another blood test. They only do it privately in the UK, and then the next test after that is kind of a more risky, invasive test. So she advised getting kind of this blood test done. Obviously, it being between Christmas and New Year, being the weekend, me flying on the Monday, I couldn't get an appointment. So I kind of stressed about it and I phoned Theo because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to fly back to Zambia and not kind of ignore it, but not, I don't know. But in the end, I decided that, okay, I'll phone up and see when I can get an appointment. And it was Tuesday and my flight was Monday. So I phoned her back, looked to change my flights, contacted my boss, explained it to her, who was obviously really cool, and then made the appointment. The midwife also asked me then to phone her back after I'd made the appointment, just to let her know what I was doing, if I was going to stay in England for a little bit longer, and she was so nice. And actually I ended up having like 4 conversations on the phone, and they were really nice, kind of a bit too nice, which worried me even more. I don't know. And one of them said to me like, oh, have I thought what I would do if the like next test came back as very like positive, or, and I was like, but very high risk, like, because the second one was obviously going to be more accurate. And I hadn't even really thought of it, and it was just so much to take in a really quick time. And then I started worrying, like, maybe my tests that came back from South Africa, maybe they were like wrong, because I also had someone that I met in Zambia who was pregnant, who like a bit further along than me, and she had a lot of mix-ups with that. She had a test results back from someone else, and a baby who had a lot of issues, and she was obviously under a lot of stress and upset, and found out that she weren't her test results anyway. So I was kind of worrying about that, you know, maybe that something like that had happened. So the test that I had done was quite expensive. I'm so fortunate that I actually had the money, whereas a couple of years ago I wouldn't have. And I feel really sorry for the people who wouldn't have enough money for that. Because it was like £380, and if you didn't have enough money for that and you had to just, I don't know, worry about it, or yeah, I feel really sorry for that. I think they're trying to get it on the NHS, but apparently it's kind of slow going, so hopefully that happens soon, so that everybody kind of has the chance to take that, and just kind of be able to prepare, or kind of get able to stop worrying, or get peace of mind, or whatever. So I went into the kind of private doctors with my sister on New Year's Eve. The test results, it was like an hour appointment, and they really explained every little thing, really went through everything, really, really nice. And then they kind of took the blood and sent it off and everything. And obviously, because it's a public holiday, it's over New Year's, it was going to take a little bit longer to come back. So they said that it would be at least, up to 10 days, I think they said, to be safe. So I had changed my flight till just after that point, that waiting period. I kind of didn't really want to think about anything. I kind of threw myself into doing my YouTube channel. Ended up working from home for those days and those hours, which is actually way more productive. I got way more work done. Anything to add?
Just stress.
Yeah. Got kind of warned by the lady who did the test that she would contact me up till 9 o'clock in the evening. She rang me, and I went into my mum's room, and obviously my mum and my dad were also kind of waiting and nervous, but she said really quickly, like, it's good news, don't worry, and then went into like explaining everything. So that was kind of instantly like, okay, that's good. Early the next morning, then the midwife called me kind of just to go over the test results again, and then she said, you know, when are you going back to Zambia? And she's like, oh no, it has been a big faff, hasn't it? Oh, also to kind of link with that, the scan on the baby's heart showed like a bright white dot, and that's supposed to be a soft marker for Down syndrome, but if it's not accompanied by anything, then it should be fine, and that they don't even rate it as a higher marking anymore. I don't know if I'm saying this right. What else happened? Oh, Theo had a malaria scare because I wasn't here, because I'm the most organised. I'm more organised than you.
You're so funny. Let's go into the state now and see which side is the most organised.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm messy, but I am organised.
Organised
like,
chaos.
Planning things. I remember things. Who constantly forgets things he has to do and things he has to buy and supplies and stuff?
I don't know.
Because I wasn't here. The first aid kit with our malaria testing kit and everything didn't come out to camp like it would normally travel with us all the time. So he was going to drive to the clinic. So he must have felt bad to want to drive to the clinic in the evening. There's a clinic in the, like, it's not really the nearest town. What do you call them going on?
Zawa and DMPW headquarters, like anti-poaching headquarters.
Yeah, it's like it's still in the park, but they've got a clinic there. So Theo was driving off, and then I suddenly remembered where I thought I had put a testing kit in the tent. So I called him, and he came back. I had previously packed him a little mini first aid kit to take on rescues, and there was one in there. So he did it, and it was negative. So that was good, but also like with the stress that was going on previously, if he had been positive and I was to fly back, we wouldn't have been able to be close together for a while, because if then a mosquito came and bit him and then bit me, then I would get malaria, and obviously it's really, really dangerous for the baby, because I'm not on anti-malarials.
That's good.
And it is the rainy season. And then there was the whole Trump, Iran, potential World War III drama, and then suddenly they were like, Britain shouldn't go to Dubai, and my flight goes through, accidentally shooting down the plane. at the time it wasn't really clear what happened. And then I think that had all kind of seemed to have simmered down, like admitted that it was a mistake, and maybe that was just like everyone needs to
Are we doing the news now?
calm down. Not very well. Today on
Diary of a Tentwife.
Call me Fiona Bruce.
Fiona Bruce. That's a Miranda joke for you.
Anyway, then the next drama that was going to happen was that they were cancelling flights to Dubai because it was flooding. I didn't even really know that
Do you
there
have
was.
honey?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've eaten loads of honey.
Okay.
I think it's just babies that can't have honey.
Okay.
Anyway, so I didn't even really know that it rained that heavily in Dubai, let alone there being floods. And so even his mum messaged him to say, is Lisa going to be able to fly because there's floods? And I was like, oh crap, let me look it up.
My mum was opera singer. Blah, blah, blah.
When I checked in at Heathrow and I asked if there was any problems, the guy didn't seem to know what was going on about anyway. So it was all fine. Oh, I was able to go in the business class lounge the first time ever because I've flown so much they put me up to silver. Oh my goodness. Like, it took me ages to find where it was. And then, like, I was really nervous and didn't think that I was supposed to be in there. So it took me a while to actually work out how you get in or where you get in. I'm such an idiot. And so then I looked around and there's so much food and drink and loads of food that I couldn't have. Just because of dairy stuff. And made me think the next time when I fly with Theo, me and the baby are going to be going in to the lounge and we're going to wave to him outside. Because it costs like $150 to go in there if you're not on any kind of frequent flight. So that was nice. But spent a bit too much time in there and didn't realise how far away I'd actually got from the gate where my flight was. And then suddenly it was final call for Lusaka. So I had to run, which is never good.
If you're pregnant and you've got asthma.
Yeah.
Asthma.
And anyway, landed in Lusaka. And then finally saw this one after 5 or 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, so I think that's it. I think that's all of our... I think that's our updates. That might have been quite long. Congratulations if you've got this far watching through this video.
Yes, if you're still there and you're not falling asleep, please like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And comment down below.
What should they comment?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you have a good day and a good week.
Cheerio.